I would like to personally apologize to my family, friends, and loved ones who did not know things were as bad as it was. I can admit I am very good at downplaying things as a way to deflect and not cause people to worry or be concerned about things they can't control. Am I getting emotional? I'm gangster. I can't be getting emotional. Hi, it's Nicole, and welcome to my channel where I get vocal about workplace bullying, harassment, intimidation, and all actions in between. Now, listen, I had another video scheduled. However, the way my body is set up, allergies came through with a vengeance and just shifted my whole atmosphere. But I did have a therapy session in which I was asked to do an exercise where I write my thoughts about my negative workplace experiences to the person or persons responsible for my negative experience. So I thought, why not share as an open letter? It's one thing to write things down, it's another thing to actually verbalize it. And why not take my own words and do exactly what I say every week, that my voice is my superpower, so I might as well use it. So let's get into it. What pains me the most is that I have to constantly remind myself that regardless of how I feel, I must understand that you are my sister. It bothers me to claim you, but I must lead with that level of understanding because by not doing so would be damaging. For one day too long, I have subjected myself to your lack of professionalism, decorum, and business acumen. Your love and desire for confrontation and hurting people is simply weird. And imagine, you have convinced yourself you and I are alike. That self-proclaimed notion needs to be eliminated from your thoughts immediately, as it is giving negative. I have more love, care, compassion, generosity, respect, brilliance, joy, and kindness in my pinky toe than you do in your entire body. It is unfortunate that your pride, ego, and arrogance is going to stain an entire legacy of a Black organization because your whole being is toxic. There is a part of me that would like to ask you, how are you and I even remotely similar? But then that sane part of my brain is telling me not to bother because there is no truth in that self-proclaimed analysis, and your answer would only bother me more than you making the statement. I have never been so irritated by such superficial logic that has made me cringe just imagining. I am mortified that I could ever be compared to a vile and inhumane person. For you to think the workplace is your personal playground to be a bully, harass, and intimidate your staff as a leader of an organization is asinine. In no way do I see similarities in us, but I can identify all the differences. I would never intentionally hurt my staff or any human for the purpose of gratification or otherwise. I would never be placed under investigation, a failed attempt by the board chair to gaslight the team, because my staff had to band together to confront me about my behavior in the workplace. I do not lie as if it is an Olympic sport. I do not react irrationally to situations based on my emotions, nor do I allow the devil to use me. Furthermore, I do not paint myself as a victim to push a false narrative when in reality, you are the victimizer. You take the term hurt people to a new level. What you do is destroy souls. It is not okay for anyone to have to suffer the consequences of what you endured in your life. Your upbringing and your experiences should not be a direct reflection of how negatively you treat others. I apologize for whomever hurt you, for whatever lack of empathy you were given, and the level of love you deserved. However, myself and others will not pay for a life we were not a part of. It is devastating to know you are in a high place of authority, and as a result, your response is to mentally, spiritually, and emotionally harm people. However, That holds no weight to the callousness of the folks supporting your actions and behavior for their own personal gain and power. To the first board chair who abandoned the issues brought forth by the staff, knowing the executive director was toxic, I am disappointed. To the current board chair, the puppeteer who in hindsight is actually more dangerous than the culprit, I am disgusted, as you are the real predator using the blackness of an organization to enhance your personal agenda. I must admit, now that I am out of such a dark place, I can see clearly now. I have reclaimed my peace. And with that, let me reintroduce myself. I am Nicole, a more bold, courageous, and vocal being of my previous self. Someone who is filled with the survival energy of her ancestors. The quiet, reserved, patient individual you had the privilege of being in the presence of, you no longer have access to her. This letter is a direct result of someone who is at their wits' end, having dealt and coping with the individual exhibiting narcissistic psychopath behavior. An insolent who does not understand the magnitude of how they are negatively affecting others, or worse, does not care to. Through my healing, I have discovered my voice is my superpower, and I shall speak up and out. Me staying quiet only makes me complicit in actions I strongly disagree with. No one has compassion for the person bold enough to speak up. It is easier to make people believe that they are not allowed to talk about what goes on behind closed doors. But that rule is about to be broken. If you're still here, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video and just hearing some of my thoughts about what I experienced. I hope it inspires others to write down your thoughts, get it out of your body, say it out loud, whatever it takes for you to get that negative energy, that negative spirit, that negative aura out from in you, around you, that you do that. And I want to end like I always do because I think it's imperative to not assume that people hear the words I love you often. If no one told you, let me be the one to say, I love you. Cheers. I said what I said.